Your phone buzzes. You already know you're going to check it. You always do. It doesn't matter if you just checked 30 seconds ago, but the real answer for why you do this is far stranger than willpower or addiction. It starts almost 2 million years before smartphones existed. Your ancestors lived in a world where information meant survival. A rustle in the grass could mean food. It could also mean a predator. The humans who paid attention to every small signal in their environment tended to live longer. The ones who ignored small signals sometimes didn't. Over hundreds of thousands of generations, your brain was shaped by this simple rule. Notice everything. Check everything. Never assume silence means safety. That instinct didn't disappear. It just changed targets. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent years studying dopamine, the brain chemical most people associate with pleasure. But his research revealed something more precise. Dopamine isn't really about reward. It's about anticipation of reward. It spikes hardest not when you get something good, but right before you find out whether you will. That gap between not knowing and knowing is where dopamine lives. Think about that for a second. Your brain doesn't crave certainty. It craves the moment just before certainty. This is called a variable reward, and it's one of the most powerful psychological forces ever discovered. Psychologist B.F. Skinner demonstrated this decades ago in experiments with pigeons. When a pigeon received a reward every single time it pressed a lever, it pressed the lever occasionally. But when the reward came unpredictably, sometimes yes, sometimes no, the pigeon pressed the lever obsessively. Not because the reward was better, because the uncertainty was more compelling than certainty could ever be. Your phone runs on the exact same principle. Every time you unlock it, you don't know what you'll find. Maybe a message from someone you like. Maybe nothing. Maybe a notification that means nothing at all. That unpredictability is not an accident. It is the entire mechanism. Tech researcher Natasha Schull spent years studying how slot machines are engineered to keep gamblers playing far longer than they intend to. What she found was unsettling. The machines aren't designed around winning. They're designed around the state of being suspended between outcomes. She called it the machine zone, a trance-like loop where the player isn't chasing money anymore. They're chasing the next pull. Your phone puts you in the machine zone dozens of times a day. But here's where it gets stranger. This isn't just about apps and notifications. It's about a threat detection system that evolved for a completely different world. For most of human history, new information in your environment was rare and often urgent. A change in the wind, a sound in the dark, a face you didn't recognize. Your brain evolved to treat new information as potentially important because ignoring it could be costly. Now you live in an environment that manufactures new information constantly, hundreds of times a day. And your ancient alarm system can't tell the difference between a text from your mother and a message that could save your life. To your nervous system, they register almost identically. Something changed. Check it. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer Hardy has written extensively about how human infants and early humans relied on constant social monitoring to survive. Knowing who was nearby, knowing who approved of you, knowing where you stood in the group. Social information wasn't optional in early human life. Being cut off from the group could mean death. So your brain built a deep, persistent hunger to know your social standing at all times. Every like, every reply, every read receipt taps directly into that ancient hunger. You're not checking your phone because you're weak. You're checking it because a system built for survival in small tribal groups is now running in an environment engineered by people who understand that system better than you do. And that's the twist most people never realize. The apps on your phone weren't designed by accident. They were designed by teams who studied behavioral psychology specifically to create compulsive engagement. Infinite scroll has no natural stopping point, because stopping points let your brain catch its breath and reconsider. Notifications are timed and clustered to maximize unpredictability. Colors, sounds, and vibrations are chosen because they trigger attention faster than your conscious mind can evaluate whether the interruption is actually important. You are not fighting a habit. You are fighting an engineered system built on top of a 2-million-year-old survival instinct. Does that mean you're powerless? Not exactly. Understanding the mechanism is the first shift. When you feel the pull to check your phone, that pull is not really about the phone. It's about an ancient alarm system misfiring in a world it was never built for. Your brain isn't broken, it's just badly matched to its environment. Some researchers have found that even small changes can interrupt the loop. Turning notifications off reduces the number of unpredictable triggers your brain has to respond to. Keeping your phone in another room removes the constant possibility of a signal. Even switching your screen to grayscale reduces the visual reward that color provides, weakening the pull slightly. None of these fix the root cause, but they reduce the frequency with which your ancient alarm system gets triggered by a modern illusion. Think about your ancestors again for a moment. Picture someone standing at the edge of a clearing, scanning the tree line, alert to every small movement because their life depended on it. That same alertness lives in you right now. It didn't go away. It just lost its purpose and found a new one in a small glowing rectangle that lights up in your pocket. Your phone buzzes, and once again, you already know you're going to check it. You always do. But now you know it isn't really about the phone at all. It's about a survival instinct standing at the edge of a digital clearing, still scanning, still waiting, still convinced that somewhere out there, something important might be about to happen.